G'day, guys. I'm Sean Keenan, your host, and as always, I have my co-host Stephen here. This is the Comics to Movies and More show. We go live each Sunday night. We talk about movies, we talk about comics, and of course, we give away our secret sauce, our Kickstarter tips and tricks. So super excited for tonight's show because we are doing what we call a live launch. So just before we've gone live, Stephen's latest project, Wolf Cubs, has gone live. So we will be checking in, seeing how that project is going. We'll be talking about The Princess Bride, and we'll be doing a whole lot more. But if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, smash that notify button. We go live each Sunday night at 10 p.m. Stephen, how are you tonight, man?
I'm good. I need basically launch one or two Kickstarters a year. That's been my thing. Every time it's always a mess of nerves. You don't know, are you doing what people expect? Is it what people want? And it's an I'm actually better mid-campaign than I am in the first 48 hours. And I'm really bad towards the end as well. The final 48 hours, I think, it's really stressful. So, but look, thank you. And the other thing I also get really stressed on is whenever doing a live launch, I always feel it's going to screw up the live launch. So what I've always done is, although I say I'm going to launch at 10 o'clock Australian time, I usually launch it slightly earlier in case there's an issue, because I've seen live launches actually stuff up. And I'd rather say it's going to launch and be happy, and it's now live. So please do check it out. Sean, if you can share the link, please do check it out. But we'll run through it all. We'll run through it all throughout the show. And thank you guys so much. Oh, no, I'm still a mess of nerves.
Yeah, I actually did that when I was having issues with internet earlier this year, last year. Went to go live, and it wasn't until someone had told me like 20 minutes in, they're like, yeah, hasn't gone live, it's not working, the link's not working, all that type of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just absolutely horrible. So that's your first tip. Make sure everything goes live prior to being live on air. So we'll just throw up a few comments to people that are here. Moira, how are we going? Sazigal, hi, how are you? Grace, great to have you here. Brant, g'day, man. How you going? Hope you're doing well. And welcome to everyone else that is here. And Brant has already said he has backed,
Thanks,
which is fantastic. So
Moira was number one. So thank you, Moira, for being the first person to back. So I really appreciate your support, Moira.
She loves getting in first.
She's number one.
Yeah. So it's funny, the guys from Crypto Comics, is Andrew and Fry, and they always have a competition of who gets in first and gets certain pledges and everything like that. It's hilarious.
The other thing would be is Moira, I don't know if you know this, but I actually I think if you check some of the updates, I actually have a wall of fame which I do for every single project because I run a website, and as part of the wall of fame, I will always identify who the first backer is. So if you look back on past Wall of Fames, it will actually say who the first backer was. You're going to get that tag. Congratulations. It's unofficial, but it's you.
We'll make it official.
Okay, it's official. Moira, you're the first backer. You get the tag in the Wall of Fame.
So I have a little confession to make.
Shoot.
We're doing the review of The Princess Bride tonight. Until this week, I had not seen that movie. Yes.
It's 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's 1987. It was classed as the best film of 1987.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's quite interesting. So I'll let you go first in regards to what you think of this film, because I have a slight feeling that I'm not going to have the same opinion as a lot of people.
Okay. Look, a couple of things back. I look back on this film with nostalgia. So we actually got You gotta remember, this is back in the days of VHS. So I actually never watched this in the cinemas. We actually got it the VHS tapes, family friends, and like I think a whole bunch of us kids basically. The parents were having their party. We could borrow a tape, and they shoved us to a room and said, "I don't want to hear from any of you guys until for the next 2 hours. Go watch film and shut up." Basically. Hey, Kevin, and in terms of look, I have gone back to watch it. Like my wife actually at the time hadn't watched The Princess Bride, so I actually watched it with her about 10 years ago. I have the DVD and all the rest of it, but some bits haven't dated well. The rodents of extraordinary size, for example, some of the effects, I have to admit, haven't dated. But what makes it really fantastic is the characterizations and the way it was written. I I couldn't fault that. You fell in love with Wesley, even the Count, who's the guy, the six-fingered man. You fell in love with him because he was. Everybody was just written so well. Did you pick Billy Crystal? Wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep. Uh, before
And
I
the young
gush too
boy was Fred Savage.
correct. Before I gush too much, what did you think? Because I always like to know. I've seen this movie God knows how many times. What was your thoughts on it?
It was a waste of an hour and a half. Absolute waste
Gosh.
of my time. My wife actually sat down and watched it with me. She loved it. She thought it was funny. I did not find it funny. I actually found that the grandfather reading the book to the son, like non-relevant to the story whatsoever. I didn't like any of the characters. I thought the characters were actually really poorly written. The
Oh gosh,
dialogue was just woeful.
it is one of the most quotable films.
I know it's one of the most quotable films,
It's
but
in
that
terms of dialogue.
doesn't mean
It,
that they're good quotes, mate. It's not like Forrest Gump,
it
or
is more quotable
Braveheart,
than
Freedom,
Forrest
or
Gump.
something. But
It's on line of quotability to Godfather quotability.
uh,
On a fantasy element. So,
I know,
but
I know that. Oh, look at this! My wife Stephen
you,
chimed in. You are a disgrace.
you should read the
Uh,
rest of the comments. They're
yeah,
not agreeing with you.
yeah. I totally don't get what people actually even liked about this film. And I even tried to go back with the eyes of going, okay, it was shot in 1987.
87.
What other movies were shot at that? Why would I like, those films? But I know the actor is the same guy out of Men in Tights, and
Terry Hills. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hated that film as well. So I think it might just be my. I just saw one of the emojis on the thing. I don't know whether it's just my sense of humor, but yeah, I was kind of really looking forward to watching this because I know that I know that I know that this was like so popular. I actually went back and checked what score it was on Rotten Tomatoes, so I knew that it
98.
had like a really
98.
high score. But yeah, I was just like the villain, like it was that stupid funny without being funny. Which was my opinion. I was just like, I was watching it going, not once did it actually make me want to laugh, bring a smile to my
Andre the
face.
Giant was in it. This is the height. Andre
Yeah,
the Giant. He
even
was
him,
hilarious.
I'm like, you're a wrestler and you can't even throw a punch. Like, come on, dude. Like, I don't want to speak ill of the dead, but geez, mate. Like, I know you
Actually,
couldn't act,
Andre actually had a
but
lot of issues because
but
this
you
was
could.
actually towards the end of his career, his wrestling career. So he actually had a lot of back issues. So a lot of the scenes where he was carrying people or people on his back, they actually had cables. And just to give you a thing, he was in the um, this was near the end of his career already.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
still,
I told you I was going to be the unpopular one
oh,
tonight.
I know.
You know,
Um,
but I literally, if I'd never seen that film, I would probably be better for it.
um,
That's how much there's only one other movie that I've like.
Mad
If
Max.
I was watching this in a cinema, I would have gotten up and walked out. And the
Oh, that's
only other film I've done that to is Mystery Men with Ben Stiller. That is the only other film that I've gotten up and walked out of.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I've got to ask this, and just because I have to prod. The other scene that everybody absolutely loves, and there's been full analysis of this. If you ever get bored, go through the YouTube rabbit hole of fight choreography. I know Jackie's on the chat, so when you do what you've ever got through, there's a lot of YouTube videos which analyzes fights, especially fights in movies. You know how close they are to being real. You know what's good, what's bad. Um, Unfortunately, Liam Neeson doesn't rate really high of these fight videos. They rate him very, very low because of the quick cuts, which basically, But there's one fight scene which almost universally Princess Bride is rated really, really high in choreography. Is the fight as soon as between on the hill. When they climb up to the top, and there's a huge fight scene. It is one of the if you count the number of strokes, stroke for stroke, it's one of the highest. I don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I believe at the time it was the highest number of strokes in any given fight scene ever on film. And it was actually done without stunt doubles. So it was Carrie Eels, and I can't remember who the other actor was, but the two of them actually did it all. The only part where it was a stunt double was the somersault, when he jumps off and somersaults down. Everything else, and even the way the fight was analyzed, you could see the fight building. He's using his left hand, and it comes down to the end where he's getting frustrated and all the rest of it. What do you think of that? Because that fight scenes overran nearly every other fight in cinema history, and they rated that one of the best. And I know you're going to tear it to bits, but I just have to ask.
No, look, I didn't find that fight scene that bad because, like, I enjoyed the old Robin Hood films and stuff like that, where I'm talking about like from the 60s and 70s. So I kind of was looking at it from that point of view and when it was made. So I thought the choreography around that was pretty good, but just the beginning of that scene, like, oh, I'm not going to kill you. I can't hurry up. I'm just like, oh, just cut the rope and let the guy fall. Like it made, yeah, I don't know.
Oh
I just
no,
like,
but
I know that
it
they're
was the
building
fun
up
of it.
the fun of it and everything, but I'm just like, that to me, I'm just like, I would, and this is going to set people off in the chat. I would prefer a Michael Bay blow 'em up senseless film to this. Like, seriously, I prefer Transformers 3 to this film. Not even one and two that are really good. Transformers 3 that is not that great to this film.
That's harsh. Was it the
Yeah.
Dinobot one? Just to clarify, that was the Dinobot one, wasn't it?
No, that's the fourth one. Is that the fourth one or third one?
That was
I
the
don't know.
Marky Mark one where it was, I'm an inventor. What do? I invent.
Oh, no. The third one was still with without Megan Fox, but was with that other girl. It was in Chicago. It was a Chicago one.
Okay.
So
I still can't believe
yeah.
this because it is, and it's a very beloved film. You're
I know.
gonna,
I tell you what, I was a little bit worried about coming on because I'm like, I tell you what, this is going to probably go viral tomorrow, and I'll be like, this Aussie just going off tap on one of the most
it is a
fantastic.
cinema classic though.
Yeah.
It's a little bit offbeat humor. I have to give that, but it's a very much the fractured fairy tales. It's not like the Robin Hood where it's good guy is always this. The guys you think are good aren't always good. The guy you think is bad. Think about it. The good guy, Carrie Eels, he's a pirate. He's killed all this, and it's implied he's killed all these people. But it's really nice that still has that sense of honor. It's a bit of fun. I'm not converting you, am I?
No, because
Absolutely
I
not
even look
converting
at
you.
like some of the names that are in this film. There's some really big names in this film.
Robin Wright Penn's in
Like,
this one before
yeah,
she
like,
married Sean
but
Penn.
Billy Crystal is horrible in this. I'm like, dude, you are not funny. Your character is horrible.
Miracle
I'm
Max is
just
awesome.
like, dude, seriously, like, yeah. I think the only part I did like, or I thought was kind of funny when he was coming back to life, and he had his head like that, and they're like, oh, what are you gonna do? And he's like had
Turn me
to,
the other way.
because he couldn't shift his head and stuff. But that was probably literally the only thing through that part that I kind of
Oh,
found funny. So, but I tell you what, like I even had to stop it a couple of times. Like that's how hard I found it to watch. And I was like, oh look, I have to watch all of it, or else Stephen's going to be like, yeah. But I now feel bad because it's the film that you picked, and I've just absolutely ranted on it. And I think all of the people want me to stop talking about it now. So,
let's run through all the comments to make sure we haven't missed any. Look, I read Sassy Girl's comment. Thank you, Sassy Girl. Like always, I really appreciate your support. But there's a comment above, and I did know this one from Sassy Gal. Like, one thing that is something, a quote from Andre the Giant. He actually found this film to be one of his happiest because he was just treated as a peer, because usually he's treated a bit as a freak. He's huge, and I've read this before, and it breaks my heart a bit. I wish he was still around. I really did do.
Yeah, I did. I don't know if anyone's watched the Young Rock series, and it's got Andre actor playing Andre the Giant, because the Rock's father wrestled with him quite a lot and everything, and it's kind of cool to see, like, how Dwayne Johnson kind of remembers him, and how much of a relationship they actually had and everything like that. It was almost like an uncle type relationship, which is kind of cool. So, and I used to love the wrestling in the late 80s, early 90s. So I remember watching him in the Royal Rumble, and just tossing people over the top ropes like it was nothing. So yeah.
Look, I think the 80s wrestling, I mean, I know we're getting slightly off topic here, but 80s wrestling was just a lot more fun. It was that spectacular, you had Ric Flair, but when it moved more into the 90s and into the 2000s, it got a bit darker. You had the NWO, the heel turns. You have the like Stone Cold Steve Austin was actually a heel character. He was meant to be someone you hated, but I think perception shift, that they started becoming I'll give a good example. Wolverine wasn't a Marvel character you were meant to like. You were actually meant to hate him when he was initially brought in, because
Venom.
Venom, for example, all these characters you're meant to hate, and they all got really big in the 90s, that anti-hero type thing, the anti-establishment. And what I did find was that I much prefer that 80s wrestling period where it wasn't the NWOs, that no, it wasn't that nasty element like when Hulk Hogan, joined the evil side. It wasn't that. It was just over the top. It was flair. I missed that a little bit, and I think, but to be fair though, I did see some of like my dad still watches wrestling, and he still gets involved. If you watch 80s versus the wrestling now, they are really much better athletes now. It is crazy the stunts they do
And
now compared to
actors.
yeah.
So they not only do like acting and everything like that, like being able to talk and entertain the crowd and everything like that. But I did like the 80s and everything, but I'm very much a 90s boy with the wrestling. I'm a DX fan. I
Oh
was
no.
Ministry of Darkness with Kane and the
And
Undertaker and the Brood.
Undertaker.
I love the Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys
Legion of
wasn't that
Doom.
Hardy Boys were that punk edge to it, but Hardy Boys wasn't that evil turn. It was who was it? Who had Sweet Chin Music? I can't remember his name. The one that's a
Sweet Chin
signature.
Music is Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels. When Shawn
Yeah, so he
Michaels had the
turned to
heel turn,
DX.
when he
Yeah.
went to DX.
Stop it! Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I know.
So,
We're getting
but
off track here.
let's finish off that. If you
I
haven't
loved
seen it,
it. 5
don't
stars for
waste
me.
your time. It's not worth it. 0 out of 10. Sean's review.
Oh, look, I can't stop the hate. You didn't warn me about this. I would have cautioned you a lot because the hate is coming, and I can't back you, dude.
That's all right, dude. I can stand by myself. You know, my wife didn't even stand next to me when I was going to get on here and talk about this. She was like, "No, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it."
98% Rotten Tomatoes. No, but very hardly
Yep,
anyone
I
gets
am the 2, mate. So,
okay, so let's jump to Wolf Cubs now, so if you like. I was going to, and this is an apology to Grace a little bit. I was going to fix the music up a little bit. I still probably will when you play the video. Oh man, I procrastinated. I did all this other stuff. So when you play the video, I'm hoping to get the music fixed up down the track. So I'm hoping before the end of the campaign, it'll be a slightly different soundtrack. I don't think it hopefully will jazz it up a little bit. So the first few seconds are very quiet. So it's on my list of things to do.
oh no, mate. We always talk about how important the
I
videos
know,
are.
I know.
Let's go. We'll have a look. Very cool, man. Very,
Oh,
very cool.
thanks. Oh wow. Thank you everybody who's pledged so far. I can't believe I'm at 20% already. So thank you. Thanks everybody. It's really much appreciated.
So, what is Wolf Cubs all about, man? Give us a bit of a pitch there in regards to what it is, what it's about, and who it's aimed for.
Okay. Look, there's three main characters to the Wolf Cubs. There's Gwen, a dark elf warrior, Kriv is a thief, and Emmy is the mage. And what happened is basically they actually steal something from the Lich, the elixir heart's desire. But what they find is, and I used a lot of it came up from actually a D&D idea actually. That do you play much Dungeons and Dragons, Sean? Have you ever played it much or?
A little bit more of a Warhammer
Yeah.
type of guy, but similar kind of concept about characters, except this one more leveling up and that type of stuff.
Okay, so with D&D, when you build a character, depending on the class you choose, you usually put your best stat. When you roll the dice, you put the best stat into that attribute. So in this case, if you're a mage, you put it into intelligence. So if you roll your stats, you go, okay, I've got these numbers. But what happens is, I like the idea that for these three characters, that they aspire to be something different. And that's where this heart's desire comes through, is that from each of the main characters, that they get granted not what they think they want, but what they actually need. And I like that whole concept about sometimes what you want and what you need are very, very different things. And so it is a little bit, and that's why I chose Princess Bride a little bit. It has a little bit of that fractured fairy tale thing. It's the warrior isn't the strongest one. In fact, Gwen, she's probably the heart of the group. She's the one with the most empathy. The mage isn't the smartest one, although um, he's smart in terms of book smarts. He's not smart enough to lead the team. So basically, these three characters are actually very oddball type characters. And again, I'm gonna hark back to Princess Bride a little bit, and I know you're gonna hate these characters now, but I love them, and I really do. But they have very much. It's very much and in terms of writing this, I loved it because I could actually join all these elements up in their characters. I actually had a bit of help with this one, so this was actually one of the first few times I actually used a creative consultant to do some writing. Um, as another Sydney-based writer, and I do give acknowledgement here, Nicole Strawcheck, and she actually helped flesh out quite a lot of some of the ideas and a lot of the concepts that she did flesh out. I did make it to the final cut, which I'm really happy about. Um, so you can see the two covers. It's done by another Sydney-based artist. So the cool thing about this project is it's all Sydney-based. There is one of the team who's not Sydney based, which is Grace, who actually did the editing for us. So Grace is, again, I won't mention just in case she wants to keep that private, but there's three Sydney based people and Grace. So thank you, Grace, for taking part in this project. So if you want to scroll down to the artwork, I love Chris's artwork because it is that really clean style. And the way I really wanted to, and he did a really good job of it, is a lot of those scholastic, and this is where I'm basing it on, a lot of the scholastic graphic novels, like from Arena or even the Babysitter's Clubs type graphic novels, where it's a little bit more kid friendly. And the story itself is very kid friendly. So just to give you a heads up, if you want to give this to kids, although Gwen has a sword, there's never any blood. Nobody ever gets stabbed. The story elements don't lend themselves that way. So you can kind of see here they're all basically running away from the Lich's Tower, and you can see all the goblins are stuck behind, and you see them all having that conversations behind them. And then you get the first shot of the Lich here. He's finding out what's happened to you. And then he finds the clue that leads them back to the wolf cubs, and he's thinking, I'm not in I'm going to start getting these people who's basically stole from me. And then you can see the town's been destroyed, and then they have to come back to stop him. So it's
I always
very much.
love how much artwork you give away on your Kickstarters. I think that's a really great attribute that you always put on your Kickstarter pages, that you really give people a lot to look at and kind of go, okay, if you like this, here is a real big chunk of what the book looks like, what you can expect, and what you're kind of going to get.
I think that's really important, and I know there's a few people here who do create in the chat. Show and we said this before. Show the covers. Get them hooked in, and then basically show them as much of the book as you can without spoiling anything. There's 2 points to that actually, because number one is if you see the artwork and you don't like it and it's not for you, I understand. because I don't want to misrepresent something to you as well. Like, especially say with Terra Olympus, I never misrepresent it's a black and white comic. So I don't want somebody to come back after the fact and go, mate, you
Why isn't
said
it
it's a
color?
black and white novel. Where's the color? And I was going, actually say it's black and white like 5, 6 times. Actually, to be really fair, nobody's ever said that to me. Nobody's ever said to me, I expected this to be in color. You gave me a black and white. I feel ripped off. Um, and that's why it's important to show all these things so at least they can come and say, there is no ambiguity that if you do like this, you've seen it. And I want to try to appeal to you that it's something that you will like, as opposed to you see one page and you it's not enough to gauge, and you take a chance on it and you find, oh, I hate it. As opposed, you can see the artwork is actually pretty consistent on the way through. And like I said, I absolutely enjoyed bring this one to life.
Yeah, I think and I have seen this, and this is something I would really like to highlight with people is if you're going to do a color comic, make sure the pages are colored, because I've seen a lot of Kickstarters put up the black and whites, but then you need to read and see that it's actually color. Where your first instinct is you look at the page and you're like, okay, this is a black and white book. I don't really like black and white books, and you skip over it when the book is actually going to be color. It's just hasn't been done yet, and this where we always talk about having skin in the game type of thing, and making sure that you've paid and actually got a certain amount of stuff done and ready before you go to that next Kickstarter level.
And before you launch, and I might as well give a couple of things which I have absolutely screwed up before you launch. The one thing which I always panics me is postage, because I have stuffed that up on a few rewards multiple times. Um, and so I double, triple, quadruple, like you don't know how many times I checked the postage, because, and the thing is, it's what I usually do to fix that afterwards is I just go, you know what, I'll shut that particular reward down. I'll create a new one and I'll put the postage in, but I'll never ask the other person who, if I made a mistake, I'll never ask that person to pay for more postage. That's my stuff.
Yeah.
So basically, it's on me. I've shut that reward down. So you can't bid on that particular reward. I'll create a brand new reward to replace it. But anybody who's bid on that one particular reward, basically they get it. So always check postage and check the item list as well, because I've stuffed that up as well. Basically, anything we could screw up, I've screwed up.
100%. That's how we learn. That's how we learn. So, I think postage is the one that always seems to catch some people out. Like, we've done quite a few, and even in our last couple of Kickstarters last year was horrible with postage, with all the changes and everything that the government was putting in, or Australia Post was putting in. But it is something that you need to kind of go back over, and before you do each campaign, go back and check, because the simple and easy thing is to just copy what you've done. I know even with the current fractured shards one, next time around, like the Europe type countries will probably adjust the postage to those, rather than just having a rest of the world one, and then probably opening up a level that's maybe a little bit cheaper to New Zealand as well. So
I'll be honest, and Shaun knows this, and anybody who does talk to me also knows this. I lose money on postage. It's an absolute flat out. We don't use postage. There's no money in there, and we don't want it to be seen like there's a profiteering on postage handling. There should never be. Um, in fact, in most cases, I actually like to get it as low as I can, even a little bit of a loss, just so it gets there. And we do a couple of things, as you probably can imagine. And this could be the whole Kickstarter by itself, really. But we do a couple of things to um, reduce postage costs as much as we can. Like we send to distributors in different countries to don't on ship it. But to send a box across to, say, the UK and the US, you're still looking about $200 for about 10 kilos. It is still absolutely crazy. It's slightly cheaper, but we're talking cheaper in terms of dollars per package, not in terms of, oh, you can ship it for $2. It
Yeah.
doesn't work. But saying all that is,
What
I
type of
don't really
rewards
mind.
do you have?
I don't at all mind because I much prefer you to get it, and I appreciate people who get it, because it doesn't bug me. But I always give a cool PDF tier, and the one thing I've learned, and this is actually something I think, Sean, you mentioned this to me, and it's something I've stolen from you. I'm happy to say I steal stuff. When you give a PDF tier, I always ask for other people to contribute. And what you find is, and it's really, really cool, a lot of other creators will be more than happy to give a couple of things too. True. By the time you get the PDF tier, I always do it by a bit of a page count. I will make sure in that $8 pledge, you get more than 300 pages at a minimum. I've exceeded that. I think one PDF time I sent a PDF tier out, I got close to 1,000 pages
That's
of
crazy.
PDFs. Because that was Wordsmith 3, because you guys just, and again, thank you to everybody. The stretch goals keep hitting, and I kept going, need to put another PDF on, need to put another PDF on. It's a good problem to have, but I would almost guarantee with the PDF, you will get at least 300 pages of reading without easily. And the good thing is, I also make it sure that any published copy will also get the PDF. So you go any step after that. And I think, Sean, you mentioned this in building rewards as well. Always have them stack. So if you get one, it follows all the way through, which I think it's a good way to go. So you don't have to think too much. You got the print, you've got the PDF as well. Boom, that's yours.
And how big is Wolf Cubs, the first volume?
Look, it's aiming to be about 52 pages. And what I usually do is, that's whenever I say that, it's 52 at a minimum. So anything I always mention the Kickstarter. I always mention worst case scenario. I actually see it going. Look, by the time it's all done and dusted, I usually get, my gut feel is about 56 to 60 at the end of it. If you know, I usually try to get multiples of 4, so that's how paper binds. But at the minimum, it's 52. So that's a lot to read at an absolute bare minimum. So if you want to scroll down a bit more, yep. I've got a print, and we'll show the print actually gets shown into a little bit more detail further down. But look, I love Pierre Dedalus, and he did whatchamacallit, Wordsmith for me as well. And so that print, I'll always get him back to do at least something for me. And I think that print came out really, really nicely. Again, this is something which I borrowed from you. I never used to do variants, but I always try to introduce at least, now I introduce one variant. I know there's a lot of other Kickstarters who have 30-something variants. That's not me. I have to really admit, that's not me. But I know a lot of people like to have that additional cover, just because they think, you know what, I like something that's totally different. What I think I did with the 2 variants, though, I made it really stylistically different. One is a lot darker, the lich is behind. The other is sunset's a lot happier. So stylistically, I always try to make it that it's a day and night choice. So it's not like it's very similar. It's one's night and one. It's literally one's night and one's day.
Yeah, I love that. I
The
love
other,
all the sketch rewards as well.
sketch rewards I absolutely love. So the sketch reward is A5 sketch done by the artist as well. It's probably it's not my favorite reward. My favorite reward is actually a bit further down. And you guys all know what it is anyway. But I loved sketches because it is a lot of fun. All the sketches, unfortunately, this is not a. Oh, thanks, Mandeep. Really appreciate your support. All the sketches are of the characters in the story, so it's really cool. If anybody does have a special request, usually towards the end when I message them, I'll let you know. The retailer's pack is actually for one particular person who yelled at me last time for not having it in.
Who might have been on this show?
who might have been in the show. So Jay, this one's just for you. So I'll drop you a quick message, Jay. Look, joking aside, if you can support it, support it. If you can't, it's totally okay. But I do acknowledge Jay's comment that it is a good reward to have for retailers, mainly because it has a lot more copies and the weight's a lot higher. It's really restricted to Australia only.
Yeah.
The shipping would kill me. I'll be like $80, $90 in shipping. So I thought only Australia only. Now this is my favorite reward, absolute favorite reward. Drawn in. So the drawn in reward, of course, gets everything from all the rewards from previous, but you get drawn into the book itself. So I always like to include people as part of the book, and it's a really nice thing to have. Like, it's really nice to be. Oh wait, that's me. That's I'm there. So this one, I have to freely admit, I stole from you as well, Shaun. So you can kind of see I'm still I steal what works for me.
This is my
Um,
favorite one. I love the custom covers.
yeah,
I think that that's kind of cool, especially like when you kind of go to show someone and say, "Hey, I'm either on this cover, or that's my character, or I just helped design this cover, or this is my idea." I really love that one.
oh, I think it's absolutely. Look, I've only done this once before, once ever before, like before this one. I use and I printed three. I think I did it for Transhuman, one of my previous projects. We had two people on that tier, and it was really fun. I think it was really fun to include all those three. So, um, but I remember in 13th Labor, you actually drew them in, and it looked. I thought it looked really cool. I thought it looked amazing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it was something because I'd done the custom cover before, and like kind of had an idea really kind of already in mind, and got the person's input on it and everything. But yeah, this one where we actually drew two backers onto the cover. We've got Hercules in the background. They're fighting all these little leprechauns, demon leprechauns. Is really kind of cool and fun. And Altoro's artwork on that is great. So I reckon it would be just as good on this one as well. Like having someone with your three main characters, and maybe some lynched or goblins getting chopped up or something would be really cool.
look, I can't wait. I really hope at least one person backs it, because then at least I can make the cover. Because if nobody backs it, unfortunately, I want one more cover. I just want one more cover. So you can kind of see here. Oh, look, Mandeep. Look, we appreciate everything you do already, Mandeep. And I'm really glad to have stuck you into Fractured Shards. So that's really, really cool. So don't worry, Mandeep. You're always appreciated. Okay, you can kind of see here. I tried to pick a lot of different comics which I think suit the theme. That's the other thing I try to do that makes it a bit of fun. When I'm selecting it, I try to select things which kind of fit. So we have Zorb. In there, we have Renee's Mythic Creatures. We have Andraste. So Andraste is actually a very much period piece, and you get all of them. So, and it also lets you read other great creators. Um, Usual that here, that's the main cover to the left, variant cover to the right. If you can't decide, get both. There's also a card which I always give out, and it's usually a really high quality card. It's business card size, which is fun. You can do whichever you like to it. If you ever want to carry a wallet, you can carry a bit of Wolf Cups with you all the time. Now, this
That
is the
print
one.
does look cool now that you see it a little bit larger. That print is very cool.
Yep. And look, the print I always restrict it to about 200 or 250 copies. It is a limited edition print. And there's only ever one print run of it. After this, I never print anymore. It's done. It's done. It's printed. Here are some of the original artwork. That's one of the Lich and one of Gwen.
That's very cool.
Drawn in custom covers. And like I said, the team is made up of three Sydney Siders and Grace. So Grace, thank you very much for your editing work. I know she's in the chat. Um, and there's going to be two stretch goals that will get announced. One will be at the $5,000 mark, and one will be at the 150 backer mark. We've got the artwork already for the stretch goals, but once we get a bit closer, once it's funded, I will announce both of them. So just have to wait until it's funded, and I'll announce the stretch goals. So, but we have the artwork all set already, and it looks really, really cool. The artwork that for the stretch goals is by a guy called JC Grande, and if you like, I'll happy to share his link out a bit later. But he's been doing absolutely spectacular stuff. And Grace has a comment. Fractured shards.
I'm sorry, Grace.
You're not sorry. It's money well. It's money well spent. Absolutely money well spent. So look, thank you so much for checking it out. Look, if you have any questions about Wolf Cup, just chuck in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions about it. But this is one of the stories I think you guys will absolutely love. It is, if you like The Princess Bride, you will really enjoy this.
Well, I just threw the link back into the chat again, just in case we've got new watchers. People jump on and off all the time while we're live, so I've thrown that in. Again, we've just been chatting to Stephen about his latest project, which is called Wolf Cubs. It's on Kickstarter at the moment. It's $850 already raised of a 3,999 goal. Why people can't just put 4,000, I'll never know. But all goes into that sales psychology. But it's great to see that you're off to an amazing start. Like, dude, all your projects you're a part of are amazing. They're always well written, and they're always top quality. So super excited to get my hands on this one myself as well. So.
And thanks. And I know, Shaun, you support all my projects. So look, thank you as well. So for the last 10 minutes, I was actually going to see, and I know there's a lot of really cool stuff happening with Fractured Shards. You've actually got a meeting happening, another live stream happening tomorrow. Do you want to talk about that one in the last 10 minutes?
So very cool. Live stream with Dan Furigal again. For those who don't know, Dan Furigal is the actor out of Spartacus. He played Agron. He's the co-creator with Stephen and I on Fractured Shards. We're going to be doing a very awesome live stream with him to announce a very exclusive Days of Our Lives reward tier for Fractured Shards. So hopefully that'll help get some backers on board to Fractured Shards. It's been quite an interesting campaign. This one has been going up and down like a yo-yo since pretty much the day before Christmas. So we're hoping to finish it off strong. We've only got 9 days left, but that's tomorrow Australian time at 1 p.m. in the afternoon. 2 a.m. In the UK, as Moira has just let me know, and it's 6 p.m. American time. So unfortunately, we are very restricted on Dan's time and schedule these days with his shooting of Days of Our Lives. So we try to accommodate as many people as we can, but unfortunately, we're kind of stuck in certain places. So
look, I love Nathan's work. So let's look at the Fractured Shards campaign one more time, and I'm happy to watch the video again.
Oh, you put me on the spot, mate. I didn't have any of that ready, and but I've got it open, so that's no problem. So let me.
I wish I had access to get all the with Nathan. He's his sister, dad, all the voice acting, all the stuff. I don't have access to all that, but I do.
Well, you do. You've got access through me, mate. You can just reach me.
I feel a bit
anytime. So we had the weird thing is that our back account has continued to grow. So our back account has never gone down, but our dollar amount has fluctuated. So and that's with all the different add-ons and rewards and higher pledge levels that we've got with this project. So we've got 232 backers, which is amazing. A shout out to the other 168 from the first campaign that haven't come back yet. We had 400 backers on the first campaign. I would love for you guys to return. I have fulfilled all of the rewards now. It does take some time to get over to the other parts of the world, but it's up there at the moment. So we've raised $13,896. Our first stretch goal is at $15,000. I'm doing an update later tonight to show the finished artwork that will be supplied to not only digital backers, but also to all the physical backers as a limited edition A5 print. And what we're aiming to kind of hopefully get to is about that $20,000 mark. So that's a long way off, but hopefully with the announcement that we're going to do tomorrow, which is that Days of Our Lives limited edition exclusive something will be announced tomorrow, and we'll showcase that. But for those that haven't checked out our Kickstarter, please head to the page, and I'll show you the video now.
G'day everybody, how you doing? My name is Dan Furigal, and I'm here today to talk to you about the next chapter in my graphic novel series, Fractured Shards.
We heard you work in the dark case. You murdering motherfucker! Execution order.
A 9. What can you find? How can I destroy him?
Access granted.
I spy with my little eye.
Fractured Shards is set in a dystopian future where the world is separated into the glittering paradise of the lights and the slums of the district. Detective Sebastian Vitro works on the most horrific of cases between both of those worlds as an enforcement officer. When a horrific crime occurs, sometimes that moment in time can fracture, opening up glimpses into that event. In Volume 2, we follow along as Sebastian and Abigail try to solve a case using those fractures before they are permanently put on ice. Now, who would like this book? Fans of Judge Dredd, Transmetropolitan, Ronin, Ghost in the Shell, and other cyberpunk dystopian stories, as well as people who like the movies Blade Runner, Watchmen, Minority Report, Dredd. If you like your comics with tons of action, mind-blowing visuals, quality feel, and production, then this book is for you. We have some phenomenal Kickstarter rewards. We have digital and physical versions of the graphic novel, variant covers, signature book plates, original artwork, getting yourself drawn into the book, and some fun things like an hour personal Zoom call with me. So please, pledge your support, and thank you very much for taking the time to check out our Kickstarter. Have a good day.
Very cool. I always love watching that. But Moira put up a comment. She says, I think everyone who does the drawing gets an exclusive print of our entry into the graphic novels. Actually, everyone that gets the print reward and above gets a print of that page. I think that page, both Dan, Stephen, and myself absolutely love that page. And I thought, it's a kind of cool little thing to kind of give back to the people that do have their images on that page, but also as a cool reward for everyone else as well. So super excited to get that out.
And more, I will do that for Wolf Cubs for you. I will make sure that where you appear, you get I'll make a separate print of that page for you. That's too easy.
Yeah, I've never thought about
That's a
doing that. It
really
was,
good idea.
yeah, yeah.
Wait, the other way. I'm so stealing that.
So, if anyone has any questions, we've got a couple of minutes left. I promise I will not bag out the Princess Bride anymore. And disclaimer, I did absolutely not enjoy it, and I will not be watching it again. But I do apologize to everyone that loves the film. It is only my opinion, and I have no clout whatsoever about what is good or bad in a film. But I did enjoy watching something different. No, I didn't enjoy watching something different. So, but yeah, I enjoyed talking about it.
But just again, sidetrack. When Dan did the video of Fractured Shards, what he did is actually really difficult to do. I've tried it before. That's the reason you never see in videos. I think I've only done it once. If you ever get bored, go back to the first my first ever Kickstarter. I think it was Tabby. I actually did. Kickstarter recommended you talk, so I talked for about 30 seconds. It is horrible, and that's how come every video after that I never put myself in it. But he makes it look easy. Like Shaun, you know this. It's not easy to.
He's an actor, mate. Of course, he
I
makes it
know.
look easy. The biggest, and I probably should do a quick starter video around this. What I have found is being able to do the video and audio separately, so that you can cut both and make something out of it, is by far better than just sitting like what we're doing now and trying to kind of hit those beats and everything. Because when you're not seeing yourself filming yourself, you're a lot more confident, because all you're doing is reading. You're like, and Wolf Cubs is about 3 party members that, find powers that, they might not necessarily want, but it's what they need. And that flows off your tongue really, really quickly. But as soon as you sit down and you're looking at a camera, you're like, so that's one thing that I've found to be really helpful in it. And then by having that audio, you can then add in all those graphics like you do on your videos anyway. But I would, I don't know. I think enough people know you now that you might not need to worry about it. But for those people starting out, I would at least have your face at the beginning, so people can start building that connection with you as well as the project. So,
Oh, definitely. But look, it's not easy. And personally, it's tough. Like the number of takes I had to do, even for that first ever video. That 30-second slot, I think it took me like 2 hours, because delete, do it again, delete, do it again, delete, do it again. Then I tried to get a friend of mine to do a voiceover for me. I swear to God, same thing. She only spoke for about 40 seconds, and it was, I don't like it, we're doing it again. I don't like it, we're doing it again. It's okay, I'm fine with it. Then she goes, I'm not fine with it, we're doing it again. And it's just, gosh. It's a tough gig, I have to say. Look, we're at the hour. Thank you guys so much. Look, I love Princess Bride, so don't listen to Shaun. If you haven't seen it, please do watch it. It is 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's well loved, and Shaun's the 2% who doesn't like it, which is it's absolutely cool. Can't please everybody.
There's got to be some special ones out there. I'm just one of them.
But do watch it, and look, and thank you for checking out Wolf Cubs, and thank you for the people who have back. I really appreciate it. And if you can share it around, that'd be really much appreciated. Thank you so much.
And Brant, I don't believe you. It takes you 10 takes on your video. I've seen you in front of the camera. I'm sure you're one of those people that do it in one take. You and Clay. I don't believe it's it's Shaun's right to be right. It is Thanks, Brad. But no, thank you, everyone that's tuned in. I hope you've enjoyed the show. Next week, we will be talking Minority Report. It will be the final countdown to the end of the Fractured Shards campaign. And we'll be giving you more tips and tricks around crowdfunding your own project. I would love to see some of the chat people come here with some ideas of what they would like to create in future. I think that would be a cool interactive session that we could do in future as well. But if you haven't already, please click that subscribe button, smash that notify button. We go live every Sunday night at 10 p.m. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and have a fun, safe week. And we will see you all again next week. Unless you tune in tomorrow, I will be back with Dan Furigal.
See you guys.